What's up, guys? Block FPL here, and welcome to my Game Week 18 free hit draft. Now, personally, I'm not using my free hit this week. It's just not with my strategy. But for those of you that are, this is the kind of team that I would sort of recommend for the free hit in the blank Game Week 18 in Fantasy Premier League. So, Carl Darlow in goal. I would recommend having at least one Newcastle defender or goalkeeper because they have such a good matchup. Sheffield United are on pace to be one of the worst teams of all time in terms of English Premier League, and you have to have at least one of their defenders. You could go Darlow and also Yedlin or some other Newcastle defender. I think that looks good as well. In this team, I only have the one Newcastle defender or goalkeeper, but Darlow gets a lot of saves too, so I think he's definitely the best goalkeeper option to go for. And I wouldn't really want to waste a Man City spot, or, I mean, you could use an Arsenal spot there, but Darlow's probably the best value in my opinion. And as far as defenders go, I've gotten with Stones, Tierney, and Cancelo. So Cancelo and Tierney have good attacking threat. They're not too expensive, and it doesn't really hurt this team at all. But obviously they have good matchups as well, and they're on good teams, so they're pretty much nailed on. And then I've decided for this one to go Stones as my second Man City player. I've decided not to double up on Man City attack simply because Sterling costs a lot, and he doesn't always return up to that price point. So I've sort of spent the money elsewhere. But Man City have defended very well. Yes, they conceded late against Chelsea, but that was kind of unlucky. They had a great expected goals last game, of less than one goal, and that was against Chelsea. And this week, obviously, they have a much better matchup, so I would expect a clean sheet here. As far as the midfield goes, Saka, he's great value. If you watch the game, you know how threatening. He was very threatening. He was a threat against West Brom, and that's not saying a lot because West Brom simply weren't very good. But Saka has really picked up in form recently. He loves cutting in on the left foot, swinging the crosses to the far post, and he hasn't quite found Aubameyang yet. But Aubameyang probably should have put one of those away last game. He just couldn't quite get on the end of one. And Saka also has goal threat. He shows his pace constantly. I love him at this price. You know, if him and Aubameyang were the same price, it would still be a tough decision. So I like Saka. He's a pretty good long-term option, but for the free hit, he's good as well. Allows you to spend the money elsewhere. So I have 5 midfielders, and the other 4 are pretty big. Not too much explanation needed. I would say Bruno and De Bruyne have to be in every free hit, in my opinion. Rashford's in there. I would like to put Martial in here somewhere, but I just don't know if he's going to start. I can't quite trust him that much. I do like him if you do think he's going to start, though. But Rashford, he gets a lot of big chances. He'll miss some for you, but when you're free hitting, you just have to hope that those go in. You're not really holding him long term. It's a good matchup. I say go for it with Rashford. I would try to get double up a Manchester United attack, and he's better value than the likes of Sterling. So that's why he's in there. And Son, you know, I have Kane and Son. It's interesting because I'm not a fan of their creativity in terms of how many chances they've created in the past couple of games, besides against Leeds. But Leeds provides a much different tactical matchup than most other teams. So I'm sort of looking at that as an outlier, and I'm still interested in getting rid of both of these guys for my teams personally, or for my team. And I still ended up with both of them in my team. I just feel like you could go without one, though. But again, Son and Kane, they're great finishers. Kane's on penalties, obviously, and Son, when he gets his chances, he just puts them away. I can't go without them. Aston Villa's not the best matchup, but Son, I just feel like he may get his chance. I will give you an option, though, to go without one of these two, because I feel like this is sort of my biggest issue with the team. And Wilson's in there simply. Great matchup. There's not many forward options at this price. You could almost go with like a 4-5-1 here. I don't love a lot of the forwards. Like I said, Martial's a doubt. Wilson's not really reliable. Kane, you know, Tottenham have been that creative recently, so a lot of issues with a lot of these strikers for this blank game week, but I think Kane and Wilson are the best options. Wilson's simply too good of a matchup to pass up. So the other thing I would look at is if you want to get Sterling in, you could possibly do something like this. You have to get rid of one of those Man City defenders to get the extra spot in there, and we throw Sterling in as well as getting rid of Kane. And then we'd probably throw Rob Holding in here. And this would probably turn it to a 4-5-1 because I wouldn't really be interested in any other striker here. So that would mean getting a fourth defender. And now that fourth defender, you got some options here. I think Bailly is a good option. You know, Maguire, the Manchester United guys. But you could go Yedlin or another Newcastle person. So let's put Yedlin in there. Some people may not have the team value that I have, but it's pretty easy to find a cheaper substitute for most of these players. Besides the strikers, there's really only 2 options. Maybe I'm missing one though. So yeah, this is another team I do. Let me make sure I can auto pick this. Yeah, so I can auto pick this with 0.2 left, like just filling up with bench players. And I think this is a team that everybody can make as well. This is probably a more budget option, a 4-5-1, but I still think this is a good option team. You got a lot of matchups here where I feel like teams could keep clean sheets, so maybe going 4 at the back isn't as bad as a lot of people naturally think it may be. So yeah, that's the free hit video. Pretty short, pretty simple, but let me know what you think about the 2 teams and which one you would prefer. I know a lot of people are free hitting this week, so I figured I would just say what I would personally do, and we'll see how successful it is. I'll try to keep track of how many points it gets, because it is hard to like put yourself in the mind state, oh, if I was free hitting, what would I actually do? Because like obviously I don't have the same pressure as I would if I was actually doing it, but yeah, I'll see what happens with it, and I'll compare it to my team. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.